Hey guys, I'm back and it's Talk Tuesdays, and this week we're going to focus on accountability. It's so crazy that this is the topic, this was the topic since last week, and I got sick. My upload days are Tuesday, my recording, my upload days are Tuesdays, and I got sick. And while I was getting sick, I kept saying to myself, just keep pushing and pushing, and that actually kind of made the sickness worse, pushing through it and not stopping to care for myself. So it's so crazy because I actually was sad that I couldn't keep up with the deadline that I created for myself. I struggled with my own accountability. So to address accountability this week is great. Let's jump right into it. I remember a few years ago, I was taking an acting class in New York, and I met two sisters. They were actors, and they were sharing some of the things they do. And one thing they did was weekly, they held an accountability session with their friends, and they each would just go around in a circle to say what they were working on. And the group together would be able to have this consistent relationship like, oh, well, last week you were working on this. Why aren't you seeing that through? And it's such an immense power in the circles that we keep and in our personal relationships with accountability. I thought that was so powerful. So since then, I've been chasing the ideal of having an accountability partner. And I remember after the acting class working with a life coach, she's like, yo, the best thing you can do is have an accountability partner, someone that can help you be accountable for this transition. And I think I've always sourced that relationship wrong. I've always given I've always put someone in this position like, yo, you're gonna do this for me, not really considering if somebody wanted to do it. Not considering if they were doing it for themselves or not considering if they really understood the full function of being an accountability partner. Now I have a theater background, so in theater training, dance training, when you're working within the arts, accountability is kind of like in the structure of conservatory practice. So if you're working on yourself, you're working in an ensemble, you have to be responsible and dependable with what's going on around you. So it could be trust established between everyone involved, and it could just be a greater performance. But outside of creatives that are actually disciplined and working in a conservatory environment, I don't think people really understand accountability and how important it is. And I've been practicing accountability all on my own. So this is just a few things that I do for myself. And most recently, I was telling myself the way that I write is not good. I just pick any planner, and I kind of got on the bullet journal train for a while. And there's nothing wrong with bullet journaling, but it's so unstructured for me. It's like nothing in place. So for me to be accountable, I need something that's in place. So right now I'm using this productivity planner. I found this on Amazon. It's not a plug for Amazon, but that's where I found it. And the planner basically lists out my tasks each day and allows me to track them in 25-minute increments. So I might think it might take me two two bubbles. It might take me 50 minutes to complete a task, so I'll estimate two, but the actual may be five. So practicing this day after day after day makes me realize how to get immediately focused when I'm working on a task, as opposed to that's taking like five increments of 25 minutes to get something done I could have got in 1 minute. So it really helps me condition myself with that. But also with accountability, I realized the follow through is most important for me. For me to say something or for me to write it down, if you need to create a plan of action and execute it, those steps, they kind of build upon one another, and they make me more and more stronger. My confidence grows, I grow, I walk taller because I know I took something from thought and I brought it into fruition. It's very, very important. It would be wonderful to have like a group of accountability partners, and it would be wonderful if everybody really understood the power of what that is and they contribute effortlessly. But in time it happens. I kind of get that support when I focus on my creative endeavors, and outside of that, I kind of accept it what it is. I don't like. I no longer give people things to do that they're not interested in. I no longer do that, and I don't expect for people to understand it. It's very, very important to me. And because it's so important to me, it's something that I put in all of my relationships. So I have very, very few relationships because I believe that it's pivotal, your role to me as well as my role to you. I'm accountable for you in a way that I'm listening to you. So if you say something to me on Monday and then you say something against it on Wednesday, yes, I love you and I understand we're humans, we contradict ourselves, that happens. But I still want to be able to address it with the purest intention, the purest intention of helping you evolve. And this kind of goes without asking. I'm expecting the same thing in return. Call me on my shit. If you see me doing something, if you see me take a L, it's only going to help me. I think it's best to create an environment to have accountability partners, to have a group, have something you're working on that's bigger than you, that's not solely about you, which will help you really focus on accountability. But it's a thing, and I don't really have too many books to suggest about accountability. It's a major function in, I think, self-development, being accountable. Whether you just have a journal and you're writing out the things you want to do, at the end of the day, you realize what you didn't do. Watching yourself and paying attention to yourself is such a cool thing. You could really just digest your day. Like, what happened? Why did I avoid executing that? Did I try to do it? What hindered me? Why did I stop? Just paying attention to yourself individually allows you to see that. Something else akin to accountability partners would be having a therapist. That's a very costly thing for me because I pay out of pocket when I go to doctors. So it's costly, but it's definitely worth it. It's somebody that has a relationship with you, that's listening to you, and they're able to pull these things out for you. I think, well, I know for sure you have to show up ready for that type of work. I think somebody pulling at you or pulling at your demons or pulling at your flaws in a way, if you're not pulling at them, it can only be a trigger, which can lead to something negative. The intention of being accountable is a positive effect to it. That's the intention. That's the goal. That's the follow through. It's only to be positive. It's not to get negative drawback. It's kind of akin to constructive criticism, which is also something that has always been layered in my theater training. So it's something I love to do. I love to show up and people talk about the truth. I love to deal with what's real. I love to deal with myself because I grow inside 10 times when I'm working on that. And it has huge effects on the other areas of my life. So this is accountability. I suggest, well, everybody listening, try it, give it time. Even if you just have a planner, you have a journal system. Even with me being sick most recently, the doctor suggested that I start a headache journal. She suggested I pay attention to myself, be accountable for myself, so I don't just show up to the doctor in a bad condition. Like, what are the steps that led up to me being at the doctor? So her suggestion to me to create a headache journal is like reinforcing accountability. So I would love for you to start these practices in your own life, in your home life. I haven't thought of any books. If I do, I will update the little bio about this episode with any books specifically targeting accountability. But I know what definitely helped me was a life coach. I do what I love, so I love theater. So when I'm in those environments working on something that's not about me, it's bigger than me, it immensely improves my life. I love self-development, so most of my books are self-development. I'll list some of those in the bio, but remember, it's key. It's very important to be conscious of the relationships that you are allowing into your life, and are those relationships helping you grow or not? You should be able to have 3 accountability partners. If you got a group of friends, you go out with them all the time, you should be able to drop this line, yo, let's be accountability partners, and something happens. It's only going to help you grow. If you drop this line and nobody responds, you got to make some personal changes for your development if you're ready to grow. So this is Talk Tuesdays, even though it isn't Tuesday. We dropping, and I hope you enjoy this. Thank you. See you next week.